Y'all, I'm back. Okay, I had to tell you guys this story while my kids were asleep. I've been wanting to tell this story for the longest time, but I haven't had time to talk about it. So, here it goes. So apparently, I'm not the matchmaker that I thought I was. So 70, don't even. I can't help you. Apparently, I did not do well with this union between my friend and um, my guy's friend. So everything was going well. He came to visit her. She went to visit him. And we were all going to go to St. Simon for the weekend. And so it was, now mind you, it was his friend's idea, okay? Not mine, not my girl, not my dude, okay? So this guy, we'll call him C. C, makes this grand gesture. We need to go here. We need to rent an SUV. If you girls rent the SUV, we'll cook and this and that. I'm gonna fly in. I'm booking the flight now. I mean, just acting like he was gonna make it all happen, like boop de boop de boop. Okay, so this dude, so we were all looking forward to it. This was a month out, mind you, the plans. He's telling her he's excited. Everything was a go, right? So the day that we're leaving to go to St. Simon, it's supposed to be that Friday. Now, I actually was like, well, why don't you, I'll be done by 4, but, if you come on up or whatever, we can hit the road. So my friend, it was like 5-ish, almost 6-ish, and I'm like, no, it was probably more around like 4:35, and I'm like, so I call her and I was like, so where you at, right? So she was like, well, I haven't heard from C, and she hadn't heard from him. His flight was supposed to come in at like 12 that day, and he got a flat tire or something, and he missed his flight, and he's looking for other flights and stuff. So we were like, okay, cool, whatever. Well, she's like, I'm on the road. She's come from Tennessee to Atlanta. She'll pick us up, and we're gonna get on the road. So mind you, we got the SUV. We didn't need the SUV. This was all because he planned it. Like, mind you, we all have cars, but he wanted to be like, y'all drive, we'll cook. Me and the girl, me and my girl drive, they'll cook. So finally she gets there. We get on the road. She drives up and she was like, well, can you drive or whatever? And my dude ends up driving, right? Down to St. Simon. So we get there. It was probably like 11:30 or so. And don't hear nothing from dude. No texts, no calls, nothing. C is MIA. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. All right. So then, still no, nothing, crickets. Because the last thing that she heard was, I'm gonna try to get on the next flight, and I'll meet y'all down there, was what he said that night. Okay, so we go to bed, wake up, no C, and no, he's a no call no show. That's him. That's his name. No call no show. Right? He's no longer his name to me. So I would have been cool if he had just said, I'm trying to, he sends one text, mind you. We're all kind of waiting because it's weird because it's me and my dude and my girl. She doesn't really know my dude like that, so you know what I mean. And it's like she's automatically the third wheel. Now, mind you, this is her cousin's place that we're staying at, so it's like, okay, so I'm upset because I'm like, this dude is ruining our trip. There's no sun, it's gray, it's kind of windy, it's doing that thing that I hate that it does down there, like in Savannah, where the sun doesn't come out. It's kind of warm, but it's still windy, and the water's doing that thing, and I'm like, I'm not gonna make it a bad day. I want to go to the beach. Let's go, because she was kind of feeling, some kind of way, and I would too. I would have taken it a lot harder than her. So I can't remember if we went to the beach first or not, but it was like he had sent a text that just said he was going to try to get the next flight. He was going to drive down. So it was just like, I feel like it was just like he was just shooting, you know, whatever BS. At this point, I was like, this dude ain't coming. But then at the back of my mind, I'm like, well, maybe he'll just show up. You know what I mean? And surprise us. So it's like hard to have a good time because like you're at the beach and my girl is expecting to have like her dude, you know, and to hang out with, and then it's just me, my dude, and her. And it's like, it's crazy. I feel terrible. It's so sad. And like, so I try to hang out with her, talk to her. We walking on the beach, we're in the water, and then I'm trying to hang out with my dude. And so like, I feel like I put in a bad situation. You know what I mean? I'm the middleman. So I'm just like, I wish I had this dude's number because you know what? I would have blew him up so bad. And I try to be calm. I'm like, that's your boy. I don't even say anything to my dude because I'm like, I know he's in a weird situation because that's his dude. And his dude ain't even calling him, giving him no feedback. So it's just like, really, dude? This is how you operate for real? Like no call, like I'm so sorry, like no calls. Like his text messages were just like, I'm trying to get the flight. Like I think the one that when he did miss the flight, he was like, I'm so mad, I'm so upset. Da, da, da. Okay, and we all upset. Like do what you need to do. So here's the kicker. This is the part that gets me. So I end up paying for not only half of mine for the SUV rental, but I end up paying it for the breakfast that my friend cooks. Because he's not here to cook it. So now we got to, you know, and it's like we're all grown, we have jobs, but it was like, that's not what we had planned. And I don't like when things like that happen. So, and you don't make an apologies, you don't cash app nobody, nothing. So like, my issue was just like, it was just the whole like the couth of it all. Like he had no sense of like decorum. You know what I'm saying? Like this was your trip, this was your idea, and then you don't even make it, but then you don't try to make it right. You know what I'm saying? Like you just go totally ghost on everybody, and like we're supposed to be cool with it, and it's not cool. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I don't know, like I just felt bad because he like try to like present himself in a certain way that wasn't the case. Like he tried to like, apparently he tried to like act like my dude was just so cheap and so this and so that, and this is what we find out, y'all. She told me he be trying to use the buddy pass. The buddy pass. Okay, if you're not familiar with the buddy pass system, yeah, you can get a flight for free, but you're going to wait a minute. It could be hours, days even. It just depends. And it's COVID, mind you. Like, dude, what? Okay, short notice. You just cough up that money, make the flight. It is not that deep. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, you really were trying to do the buddy pass? I can't. You're grown. You're not even like, that's something that somebody in their 20s, you know, we don't really got no money. We trying to, you know what I'm saying? You don't do that in your 40s, near 40s. Don't do that. Like, who does that? Like, and not when people are dependent on you. So it was just like, she handled it really well. I just felt bad. Like, I don't even know what to say at this point because it was just like, why? I try so hard, and it's just like, it just goes back to like these guys, you know, even with my experiences and stuff, it's just like, it don't matter how old they are, it's just like they just be playing these games though. Yo, like you act like they try to present like they something that they're not, and I'm just like, why can't you just be like, say who you are and be real and be honest? How you guys liking my hair though, by the way? Look at that gray. Okay, just had to put that out there. But I can't. I cannot. And it's just so upsetting because I just felt bad. You know what I'm saying? That I just even like introduced her to him. You know what I mean? And it just was like, and she was really sweet. She was like, don't give up on me. And I'm like, this ain't nothing to do with you, girl. I mean, it's just like, we live and we learn. And I just hate that she had to experience that, you know, and she's really trying to put herself out there, and she's putting herself out there and just to be burned, you know. And that's the kind of thing that really makes people bitter. When people, we come into them, they really be closed and hard, you know, shells of people because a mess like this, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, and then he hasn't texted her, he hasn't called her, so I don't even know what the deal is at this point. Like, now I'm just like, did you do this crap on purpose? Like, because I know, like, there are situations between the both of them where he would say he's gonna call, he didn't call, or he would not text and stuff like that. So like they kind of had that thing going. But when she came up there to see him, I thought they had squashed all that. You know what I mean? And that he kind of like was like, okay, she's making an effort, like it's cool. And then like you still go back to the no kind of communication type of thing. He's a Capricorn. They're not very good at communication. So there's that. But still, you overcome those situations when you know things about yourself, you know you have weaknesses, you know what I mean? And sometimes when you have people who are divorced, he's divorced, and we all are actually, you just start realizing, and I hate to say this because I know it probably, people look at me like, oh, what did you do? You know what I mean? There are reasons why you end up divorced, and it's not the one person. I even in situations where people have cheated, I still feel like there are things that brought people up to that point in some cases. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying it's a bad person's fault that someone's cheated on them, but there's communication has been broken down. You know what I'm saying? Something has broken in some place, and like I said, bad behavior, when a person steps out, and that does not, you know, negate the fact that they did something wrong. I'm just saying, like, there are things that happen that leads up. There are things, you know, you've been married a long time. There are things, you know, nobody is perfect and nobody is without fault. I just don't think that. I think that both parties, it doesn't mean that one person probably contributed highly to that point to where it's not salvageable and you can't mend it. I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying a lot of cases you learn your mistakes and what you did. Like for me, like I learned from my mistakes. I learned things about myself. I see now that now that I'm out of that relationship situation, I see things that even he would complain about, and I'm like, you know, I didn't see it, but now I see it, you know. So it's just like I said, you live and you learn. And when you're in these situations, I would be a fool to repeat, you know, some of the same things I did. Like the way that I communicate now is, I pray that I'm so much better. Like I'm so calm now, and I was the one that threw things. I mean, I'm not without fault here. Like I definitely contributed to a lot of the toxic moments. Like I couldn't calm my nerves. I couldn't calm my emotions to talk in a calm, peaceful way. Like I would blow up. And when I say I blow up, I blew up. You know what I'm saying? And when I want to talk, I want to talk right now. You know what I mean? No chance for you to kind of de-escalate. There was no de-escalation with me. So if I wanted to talk about something, it had to be talked about right then. And so now I'm kind of at the situation where I'm like, we'll talk about it later. I do have something I want to share. I want to talk about. It is bothering me. I do have issues with like not saying how I feel right away. In that moment, like when someone does something that bothers you, check them in that moment. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to say it in a weird way. You just say, hey, that kind of bothered me when you said that. Or, hey, you know what I mean? Or when you do that, that kind of, you know, because when you do that, that person gets an instant feedback, you know, versus you waiting, and then you wait to this moment, and then you start bringing up all these compiling things, and it's like a big explosion. And that person is just overwhelmed with like, whoa, you know what I mean? They had no idea. So, and that's what I like about my dude. At least he's willing to correct the behavior, say, you know, acknowledge that I didn't know that. I thought I was doing this. I thought I was doing better with the communication. And, you know, and we talked a lot of some things, you know, for us. And I know like for me too, like I have my things, but like I said, I would be a fool if I continue to work in the same manner that I did in the old relationship and that I didn't learn anything. I want the new relationship that I'm in to be better. And so today was like, yesterday was the first day that I watched a football game, college football, Georgia Bulldogs. We won. It was the first time like I watched a game with somebody, like even like a friend, since like not even last year. I watched, no, when I say I might have watched like one or two like real college games, but I was like by myself, and it was so depressing because it reminded me like all the weekends that me and my ex shared, and those were actually good times, and that was something that we actually had a commonality with. And so it was really cool to experience that with this new person. And he actually told me today, he was like, I had a good time with you. He goes, that's the first time I've ever watched a game with, you know, a female, like, you know what I mean, that I was with. And so I thought that was really cool too. So we both had like a good experience together. So that was good. And I just want to say, I'm going to hang up my matchmaking hat. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Let me just work on what I have going on for myself first, I guess. Because it's whatever. But I'll leave it here. And I have some other news, but I'm going to say it in another video. So, peace.